He'd kissed her after the ravens had attacked that first time. She'd never seen him so outwardly emotional, before or since. It wasn't something she could forget either. He was a bit more open with her after he'd taken her to the hospital so she could give Celine the potion, but things were still generally weird. Hunter was a weird dude. Kenzie kind of liked that about him. "Anything else?" Hunter asked, looking up at her. Those golden brown eyes searched her own, and Kenzie felt her heart flutter. It was so stupid and girly, she immediately scowled. "One more bag. 6 months is a long time. I've got a lot of stuff I can't live without. Did you pack my computers up just like I told you to?" Hunter didn't say anything. He just looked at her and narrowed his eyes ever so slightly. Of course he'd packed it right. Kenzie rolled her eyes and stood so he could take the suitcase. "I'm nearly done. What about you, Finnick?" "Just one last screw. I thought you didn't want me to rush." Then he snickered. Kenzie sighed and gave her sister a look. 6 months of this, but thankfully I'll have you to visit me. Celine balked at that reminder. Her sister's open-mindedness regarding shifters made it so that Celine wasn't painfully awkward around the Foxes. Well, less than she was before. Something about them put most people on edge. It wasn't really her sister's fault. But her sister was not a fan of Kenzie leaving the house. Dating 3 Fox shifters? No big deal. But those witch roots went deep. Clans were matriarchal. If anything, the Foxes should be moving in with her. Kenzie didn't think that would go over well with anyone other than Celine and Edith. Her mother would probably have a heart attack. Now that Celine had her powers back, the two of them could get back to work on their projects. Kenzie missed that time together, perfecting the tech so her sister could perfect the magic. Then there was the job they'd promised to do for Samuel, Alpha of the West Coast Pride, so he didn't punish the Foxes, or the 6 Rivers Pride, for stealing the potion that had saved Celine's life. Celine watched Ash come down and help Finnick hold the door just right. The 2 Foxes muttered to each other low enough Kenzie couldn't hear them without her charms. Hopefully, Edith would be done with the majority of the replacements before she had to leave. "I don't know if it's a good idea for us to do our projects over there," Celine said softly. "It's not warded." Kenzie sighed and looked around the room with her hands on her hips, making sure she hadn't missed anything. Her sister could be so annoying sometimes. "Then fucking ward it, Celine. You have your powers back. We both know what happens if I don't do this." Grandma Edith had put out a contract to take down Brad for the curse he'd put on Celine. Consequences be damned. With both their families in the Bay Coven, they technically weren't allowed to have feuds, at least not openly. If anyone found out, well, Kenzie didn't want to think about that. But her Foxes had taken the job, and to get the potion Celine had needed, Kenzie had to help them complete the contract. What none of them had expected was that fuckboy Brad to put out kill orders on the list of victims Kenzie had scrounged up on the darknets. Just 2 weeks ago, ravens had murdered one she'd been interviewing. They'd lost 4 more since then, but they'd also saved 10. It was just damn near impossible to get to them all, since they had no idea who he would target next. "Kenzie!" Instantly, she stiffened, underwear in one hand, when Hunter yelled her name. Yelled? What the fuck was it now? She was up and pushing past Finnick before anyone else could react. It wasn't that Hunter sounded afraid. Through their thin, tenuous bond, she could feel his murderous rage. Whatever was going on, he wanted her to step in before he killed someone. Ash and Finnick were hot on her tail, and she ran up the curved driveway from her basement-level entrance to where the fancy front drive was. The van was there.